He wanted to establish the Nobel Prize. Discipline. It takes years of discipline to be a good pianist. Content. What are the contents of that box? Intense. The heat from the fire was intense. Performance. We look forward to a repeat performance. Rate. He drove a car at the rate of 50 miles an hour. Represent. The dove represents peace. Virtually. We are virtually finished with the work. Address. Can you tell me her address? Component. That's the key component of acid rain. Approach. A storm is approaching. Yield. They finally yielded to our demands. Sophisticated. People say I'm quite sophisticated for my age. Awareness. We could say that public awareness was rather low. Reinforce. He wants to reinforce his skills as much as possible. Bias. She is free from any bias. Figure. That girl has a good figure. Obtain. He obtained the first prize in the speech contest. Assumption. We proceeded on the assumption that he would help. Tendency. Stock prices showed a rising tendency. Notion. I have no notion to go hiking. Estimate. I estimated the cost at $10,000. Release. I just told you to release my son. Sustain. Which planets can sustain life? Insight. I have little insight into his character. Overall. Overall production increased 5%. Urge. She urged us to eat the food. Priority. It is not my first priority. Portion. She sliced the cake into several portions. Promote. He was promoted captain. Note. He made many notes on his book. Alter. Nothing can alter the fact that we are to blame. Conventional. But the conventional wisdom is the opposite of the truth. Species. They come in more than 2,500 species. Maintain. Their duty is to maintain the balance of the world. Preference. I have a preference for vegetable. Determine. I determined from the first not to be hasty. Organism. Every organism begins as a single cell. Trigger. I didn't intend to pull the trigger. Exceed. His qualifications exceed the job requirements. Distribution. They demanded for a fairer distribution of wealth. Observe. A man was observed climbing a tree. Reputation. That judge has a reputation for being fair. Argument. He had an argument with his wife. Specific. He gave me specific instructions. Conflict. There are conflicts on land and at sea. Recognize. I recognized him immediately. Facilitate. What we can do is facilitate the opportunities. Convince. But the promises have failed to convince workers. Evolution. For example, the theory of evolution is also a fact.